Help me hit 1,000 subscribers, support the video with a like and share your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone, thank you. When Ethan left the restaurant that night, he didn't slam the door or raise his voice. He simply stood, slipped his coat over his shoulders, and walked out into the cold as if he just realized something irreversible. I watched him through the glass, stunned, unable to understand how a single compliment, a harmless sentence, could shatter 8 years of marriage. The other diners stared, but no one spoke. Their silence pressed against my chest as I replayed my words again and again. Daniel, that suit looks incredible on you. We'd been having dinner with old college friends, a rare night out after months of barely crossing paths. Ethan had been working late, building a future he said was for both of us, and I had tried to stay patient. Tonight was supposed to remind us who we used to be. Instead, I watched my husband disappear into the night like a stranger walking away from a life he no longer recognized. When I finally left the restaurant, the air felt colder than it should have. I searched for Ethan along the street, half expecting him to be waiting by the curb, taking slow breaths, needing space. But he was gone. No message. No missed calls. No anger. Just absence. By the time I reached home, the house felt wrong. His keys weren't on the hook. His jacket wasn't on the chair. A part of me wanted to believe he was just driving to clear his head. Another part sensed a deeper truth, a truth that had been building long before dinner. Hours passed. The silence grew sharp. I replayed the moment again, the way Ethan's jaw tightened, the flicker in his eyes when I said Daniel looked sharp, the way his laughter had died mid-breath. Maybe I had underestimated his exhaustion. Maybe he had underestimated mine. I barely slept. And by morning, fear had settled in my stomach like a stone. When I heard the door unlock, I shot up, heart racing. Ethan stepped inside, looking as if he'd aged years overnight. His eyes met mine, not with anger, but with something far worse, hurt. "I'm not angry," he said quietly. "I just didn't know how to stay last night." I waited, afraid to breathe. He set his bag down. "When you complimented him, it wasn't what you said. It was the way you said it. I haven't heard you speak about me like that in a long time." His words hit harder than shouting ever could. "Ethan," I whispered, "I didn't mean anything by it." "I know," he said, his voice trembling. "But it reminded me of what we've lost." He sank onto the couch, running a hand through his hair. "Lately, I feel like I'm failing you. I come home late, I barely talk, and when I finally sit across from you at dinner, it feels like you see everyone but me." I sat beside him, my chest tight. "I've felt invisible too," I admitted. "I thought you were drifting away. I thought maybe you didn't see me anymore." For a long moment, neither of us spoke. The silence between us wasn't empty, it was full of all the things we had ignored. Ethan leaned back, eyes glistening. "Do you remember when we first met? You told me I made you feel seen. Last night, I realized I haven't made you feel that way in a long time." His confession cracked something inside me. "I miss us," I whispered. "I miss us too," he replied. The morning light softened the room, and for the first time in months, we were honest, raw in a way that felt terrifying and necessary. We talked about everything we'd buried, his stress, my loneliness, the quiet resentment that had taken root between us. Not dramatic fights, not betrayals, just slow erosion. The kind that breaks couples without them noticing. "I didn't walk out because of Daniel," Ethan finally said. "I walked out because I realized how easy it was for someone else to receive words I've been desperate to hear from you." Tears filled my eyes. "I never stopped loving you. I just forgot how to say it." He nodded. "Maybe we both did." For the first time in a long while, he took my hand. It felt both familiar and new. "We can fix this," I said. "If you'll stay." Ethan squeezed my hand gently. I never wanted to leave permanently. I just needed a moment to understand why it hurt so much. We spent the rest of the day talking, really talking, piecing together the fragile parts of our marriage with truth instead of assumptions. There were no grand gestures, no dramatic promises. Just two people who had almost lost each other finally choosing to fight for what remained. That night, as we lay in bed, Ethan whispered, "Thank you for not letting that dinner be the end of us." I looked at him, the man who had walked out and then chosen to walk back in. "Thank you for coming home." In the weeks that followed, Ethan and I rebuilt our rhythm slowly, intentionally, like people learning a language they once knew fluently. We left notes for each other on the counter, carved out evenings without phones, and relearned the art of paying attention. There were awkward moments and fragile days, but there was also warmth where the distance used to be. One evening, as we walked along the river, Ethan said he hadn't realized how close we'd come to losing everything. His voice was steady, not sorrowful but grateful, as if the fear of losing us had sharpened his sense of what we still had. And in that clarity, we finally felt whole again.